There are two main ways to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies: release order and chronological order. Release order is the order in which the movies were released in theaters. This is the order that most people are familiar with, and it's a good way to watch the movies if you're not familiar with the MCU. Chronological order is the order in which the movies take place in the MCU timeline. This order is more complex, but it can be a more rewarding way to watch the movies if you're a fan of the MCU and want to see how everything fits together. Now let us see what are the pros and cons of each order. If you look at the release order. 1. This is the order that most people are familiar with, so it's easy to follow. 2. The movies were designed to be watched in this order, so you'll get the full experience. 3. You'll be able to see how the MCU has evolved over time. But 1. Some of the movies may feel dated if you watch them in release order. 2. There may be some continuity errors between the movies. 3. You may not understand all of the references to other movies if you haven't seen them all. Same as that when it comes to the chronological order. 1. You'll get a better understanding of the MCU timeline. 2. You'll be able to see how all of the characters and events fit together. 3. You won't have to worry about any continuity errors. But 1. It can be confusing to watch the movies in this order if you're not familiar with the MCU. 2. You may not understand all of the references to other movies if you haven't seen them all. 3. You may have to wait a while to watch some of the movies, as they're not all released in chronological order. Ultimately, the best way to watch MCU movies is the way that you enjoy the most. If you're not sure which order to watch them in, I recommend starting with the release order and then watching the chronological order later if you're interested. Here are some additional considerations that may help you decide which order to watch the MCU movies in. 1. Your familiarity with the MCU. If you're not familiar with the MCU, then release order is probably the best way to watch the movies. This will give you a good introduction to the characters and the world of the MCU. 2. Your interest in continuity. If you're interested in continuity, then chronological order is the best way to watch the movies. This will ensure that you understand all of the references to other movies and that you don't miss any important plot points. 3. Your patience. If you're not patient, then the release order is probably the best way to watch the movies. This is because you won't have to wait a while to watch some of the movies, as they're not all released in chronological order. Thank you so much for joining us today and taking the time to watch this informative story. We hope you found it interesting and valuable. Before we wrap up, I want to encourage all of you to support our channel and stay connected with us. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell.